Quick question. If you could do anything in the world, what would you do? For most, it will be something that saves lives and provides a service to people. But my goal is completely self-serving. For me, the only thing I want to do is to draw manga. Hi, I'm WannabeHmangaka and I draw manga. And for 8 years now, I failed to publish anything that I've drawn. I dropped out of animation school in my first semester, and now the only thing that matters in my life is manga. For most of my life, I was a gamer, and I thought that my goal was to become a game designer. So I dedicated years upon years into that goal, learning how to code and to create assets while trying to finish high school. But after tinkering with it for years, I realized something was wrong. The games that I worked on revolved around complex narratives, and the workload that I subjected myself to made me understand something important. I was going to die before I finished this project. I was fairly familiar with anime manga as a child. All my family members loved Naruto and Dragon Ball, and my dad and his cousins enjoyed Macross, or known as Robotech over here in the US. I mostly watched a couple episodes of each and finished some Studio Ghibli movies such as Castle in the Sky and Spirited Away. I really did like Bleach as a kid, but once the anime started its fillers, I dropped it. Even as a kid, you knew that the quality of the writing and animation took a huge dip. So, losing interest in anything anime, I came back into gaming. It wasn't until one day, one of my close friends recommended that I read Tokyo Ghoul. At the time, I was so burnt out on my project that I decided to give it a go. And that manga changed my life. Everything about that series was what I needed. From the storytelling to the weekly reviews and analysis from the AniTubers of the time, everything about the series just spoke to me. After that, I delved deep into the world of anime and manga. Being a high school kid during this time, I had a lot of free time, so I began consuming all that I could. From great series such as Berserk and Kingdom, to not so good stuff such as Guilty Crown and School Days. Consuming all this media made me realize that I wanted to draw again. So as a 16-year-old, I began to sketch and study how to draw my favorite manga, such as Bleach and Tokyo Ghoul. I also took heavy inspiration from Tetsuya Nomura, who drew Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts concept art. Soon, after drawing over months at a time, I realized that that was the start of my desire to draw manga. So after graduating high school and dropping out of college, I decided to draw manga. Being an adult required me to get a job, so I picked up whatever was available at the time to support my newfound career. I was dedicated to my craft and nothing would get in my way. After work every day, I would come home and draw, and draw, and draw. But nothing was working. Even after all these years and disregarding my health, the art that I created was crap. But besides my art, I was also crap. I lashed out at the people around me, believing that I had wasted those years for nothing. None of my family members knew what I was doing because I was so ashamed of wasting my time. I ignored my friendships because I thought that I wasn't allowed to be happy because I failed. My mental health took a toll to the point where I vowed to even not live myself when I finished my first volume of manga. But now I understand. Those years weren't wasted on nothing. It was the growth I needed to succeed as an artist. I had just finished my training arc. My story as a manga artist is one of failure. And I, as a person, had issues. Even now, I'm still dealing with these same issues. One of these biggest issues I had was perfectionism. Perfectionism in art isn't anything new, but for me, it was an escape from the fear of being a content creator. The voices in my head confirmed what I feared. Why would anybody care about what I had made? Why can't I do anything right? Why am I such a loser? This is why I deserve to be alone. So these feelings permeated into my projects and I had to redo them over and over again to the brink of insanity. Even this video is a remake of the first video that I had put onto YouTube. But all of the comments that I read on that imperfect video put my fears aside. That my story and the things I create have value. And for that, I would like to thank you all. I never thought that so many people felt the same way I did. And now I know that I'm not alone in the struggle. This channel is a documentary of me trying to make it in the world of indie manga. Here, I will showcase the problems I face as a wannabe, and maybe I'll publish my first one for once. My manga is heavily inspired by Dark Souls, and here's a quick teaser for it. In the land of Lannister, a young teenage boy is found by mercenaries who hunt cult members of a forbidden church. With the boy unable to respond to human interaction, and with the inhabitants of his hometown of Welcand gone, the mercenary group decides to drop him off at the Church of Rehabilitation, where the boy is recognized by some church members as Aled of Welcand. What happened to the boy? What is the Crimson Winter that everyone preaches of? And who is the boy Aled of Welcand? Read on to find out. I've been working on chapter 1 for a while now, and I'm halfway done with it. It's a huge chapter as it contains 60 pages of content. I hope you will all read it when it releases sometime this summer. I plan on doing monthly releases so I could build a backlog of content to release. The structure of my manga journey is me drawing Monday to Friday and just summarizing what I went through the whole entire week. Saturday might be spent on editing and Sunday is basically when I'm uploading. I'll normally be a week ahead for each upload just in case I fall behind while I'm trying to finish up the manga. I'll reserve a spot in the video for questions if you have any. This series will showcase how I draw manga, and hopefully you all will join me on this journey. So yeah, I'm sorry if you were one of the original comments on the first video, but now I feel like I can communicate my ideas more clearly now after having some experience. So yeah, like and subscribe if you want to join me on this journey of drawing manga. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be great. Thanks for watching this video, and let me know if you have any projects I can check out. That's all for now. Thanks guys.